Let's explore a basic configuration that provisions an AWS EC2 instance, a virtual server in Amazon Elastic Computer Cloud EC2 for running application on the AWS infrastructure. So first step involves defining your Terraform configuration. This includes specifying the required providers and configuring the AWS provider with the necessary details such as a region. Here is a simple Terraform configuration that sets up the AWS provider and specifies the desired version. I declare the AWS provider and specify that the Terraform AWS provider version should be approximately version 4.16. And now let's set the minimum required Terraform version to 1.2.0. Cool, great. Now we can configure more properties for the AWS provider. For example, I would like to use the US West Oregon region. So let me define the provider AWS and define the region. Specifically is US-West-2. In this way, I'm able to define all this AWS infrastructure. Next, we define a resource block for the AWS EC2 instance. The resource block specifies the type of resource to create, in this case an AWS underscore instance, and include configuration details such as the AMI Amazon Machine Image ID and instance type. Additionally, we can assign tags for the instance for better management and identification. Okay, this resource block accomplishes the following: providing a new EC2 instance using the specified AMI ID, which should be selected based on your application requirements and the AWS region. Specify the instance type as T2.micro, which is suitable for development and environment or small workload. Applies a tag with a key name and the value development, making it easier to identify and manage the instance within the AWS console or throughout the CLI commands. Great! Now the Terraform configuration is defined and we can move on the next step for initializing the Terraform workspace. As a preliminary step, you must have an AWS account already configured and you are able to log in the management console. Bear in mind to be in the US West Oregon region. You can check it out using the top right corner. Welcome to my terminal. First of all, let's set two environmental variables to define the AWS access key ID and the secret access key. In order to do this operation, we simply type the command export, the name of the variable AWS underscore access underscore key underscore ID, as well as the value. In my case, I just type like your AWS key, but substitute the one that you get from AWS Management Console and do the same for the AWS Secret Access Key. In this way, we will be able to interact directly with our infrastructure in AWS. Because it's secret, I'm not gonna show with you my key because they are connected directly with my infrastructure. Some AWS account might have a different authentication method, so apply the one that works for you. Now we can initialize the Terraform directory. First of all, let me move inside the AWS instance directory, and there is a main.tf file, the one that we just added in our IDE. So I can move forward with the command terraform init. Initializing a configuration directory downloads and installs the providers defined in the configuration, which in this case is the AWS provider. Terraform downloads the AWS provider and installs it in a hidden subdirectory in your current working directory, named .terraform. The terraform init command prints out which version of the provider was installed. Terraform also creates a log file named .terraform.log.hcl, which specifies the exact provider version used so that you can control when you want to update the provider used for your project. One good habit to improve our code quality to use actually the Terraform fmt command that is improving the formatting style in our Terraform file. As you can see, this is the final result. Everything is more aligned and more polished. Great, but this is just cosmetic, but it improves the readability of our code when you're gonna share with other developers. Okay, now and before actually using our infrastructure, let's use a Terraform validate. In this way, we're gonna validate our configuration before deploying to our AWS provider. Now we are ready to go. Let's use the command terraform apply to actually take a look on the action plan that Terraform is going to execute on our AWS infrastructure. As you can see, these are the review of all the necessary changes that we're gonna execute of our plan. When we type yes, Terraform is actually executing our plan and creating all the necessary resources on AWS. They might take a while just for creating all the necessary resources.